What's up, my fellow page turners? Welcome to 2025, my first video of the brand new year. Now this video is going to be a little bit different because it has been 1 year basically exactly that I have been on BookTube, and it has been quite a journey, a lot of lessons, a lot of fun, a few struggles here and there, but it's been a very rewarding experience. I just wanted to give my thoughts and reflections on a year in this community. Some thoughts and just comparisons to things that I was expecting, things that I found out, things that I hope to do in the future, and just an overall conversation about where I have come from and where I want to go with this channel. So a few facts and statistics, not that this is really important to everybody, but just shows that with a little bit of effort, you're able to get at least a little bit of interactions and a little bit of content out. I usually get maybe a video out every week to 2 weeks, so it's not that I'm doing everything as quickly as a lot of other booktubers. You see some booktubers, they get out like a movie every other day, and I just don't know how they do that. Well, I got some thoughts on that. But anyways, so here's some facts just from this year of having fun and putting in some effort, but not overdoing it, given the fact that I am married, I'm an educator, and have 2 small kids. So life and time and everything is a little bit challenging. But as of recording today, I currently have 240 subscribers, so thank you every single one of you if you are watching this right now. I have 12 shorts that I created or did with about a 500 view average on those. Some of them were really small, some of them were fun. I had food reviews of books as if they were food. I also have 32 full-length videos with about a 300 view average on those. Some of them are really, really short. Some of them are longer. I do have 5 videos at over 1,000 views. So thank you so much for those of you who have watched and liked and commented and subscribed off of those. It's been really fun to be able to engage with a variety of films and or videos and content, and even videos where I may only have 30 or 40 views. I still enjoy every comment on those, and I still have fun making them, especially ones that maybe don't take a super long time to make, and then they're enjoyable to connect with you about. Because really it's just getting these things out of my head and having fun while doing it, and maybe leaving something for my kids down the road to be able to watch and learn a little more about their dad. If, you know, well, who am I kidding? My kids are going to probably read a lot. We'll see. But anyways, I also have, from all of my videos, I have roughly 20,000 views, which that number is way more than I thought that I would receive. So thank you so much. There's been over 1,000 hours watched, which, since I've maybe taken about 200 hours to actually film and edit the videos that are on my channel. Obviously, we're not talking reading, because if we added that, the effort to view watch ratio would be astronomically poor, and I'm not doing this for profit, otherwise it would be even more so. But it is something where 200 hours of effort for 1,000 hours of viewing, I think that's a pretty worthwhile ratio, depending on how you look at it. That's kind of how I'm kind of viewing it. This year, I have read about 54 books. This last year, I read 54 books, which for me, that's probably on par. Quite a few of those are audiobooks that I listen to and from work, or while doing laundry, doing dishes, doing yard work, doing things like that. And so I feel like that's a pretty solid number, given the fact you take out audiobooks, and I was reading maybe a couple books, physically reading a couple books a month, which I think is manageable. That's something that I think is sustainable moving forward. Of the books that I read and that I made videos of, my highest viewed video was of Shogun. It was before the show came out. It was my thoughts and reflections on the book. I wasn't able to actually reread the book before the show came out, and so I did a video that got about 4,000 views with a lot of comments and subscribes and likes from that, and so I really appreciate that. That was a really interesting one to make, really fun to make as well. I got to put on my history hat and be able to tell a little bit of the history of Japan during that time period of Shogun. Second highest viewed and rated video on my channel is Ranking Kingsbridge, the Kingsbridge Chronicles, which is a series set in, starting off in like medieval Dark Age England, following through from the age of the Vikings up through the different wars, then through the Norman invasions, through all the way up until the Industrial Revolution, and just kind of ranking those videos, which I had a lot of fun doing and got quite a few views from that. And it was a fun experience. That, again, able to put in my history hat and have some fun editing. So check both of those videos out. And the first fantasy focused one, which I've mostly focused on fantasy on this channel, but I'm getting into a variety of other things this upcoming year. So it's interesting that my top 2 most viewed videos are historical fiction or historical in nature. And then the third one is John Gwynn's The Bloodsworn trilogy that I was able to make a video of that's close to 2,000 views, which that's had a lot of really fun elements, and I had a lot of fun making that as well. Now, some things that I've really learned this year is starting off tech, I had very minimal elements. I'm filming all of this off of my phone. I don't have a vlog style camera. It's something that my wife and I might purchase because she's starting her own little channel on something with her sister and friends. And so we might get a camera, get a little better microphone, but as it is, just with my regular cell phone, with my I have a microphone that I got that was about a $50 microphone that I've been using this whole year, and the audio maybe it's not the highest quality, but it's been fun and completely fine. So tech-wise, I also edit on Premiere Pro, which is something I use and I teach with, so it's something I'm familiar with and can do very quickly and easily. So the tech side is pretty straightforward and minimal, but I definitely would like to get better. Kind of speaking of the tech, adding into the setting now. Setting, I know there's a lot of booktubers that have massive libraries and lighting and all that, and I do want to get to a system where there's a little more basic lighting. I mean, I'm filming, you can tell, haven't even taken Christmas stuff down, talking about, kids and travel and everything. And so the setting, is not maybe the most dynamic, but it shouldn't be the setting. It should be more about what is from my heart, what I'm talking about, and what you want to connect with and engage with. So have plans of updating and stuff, but as it is right now, it's it's fine. Maybe that impacts views. I have no idea how that goes, but I am trying to also work on my ums. That is something that as a teacher I feel like I don't do during lecture and during activities, and then I get into a video and I'm like, oh, that went good, and I go back and edit and I'm like, yeah, that had 40 ums in that video. So I'm trying to be more intentional, a little more conversational, and hopefully being mindful of not getting those ums and those different things that, like this, that. I have students that put in and like every other word. It bothers me, and I'm sure some of you guys viewing, that could be something that would be a challenge. As well as something I'm trying to figure out still is thumbnails. I have fun with thumbnails. Some of them are very generic. Some of them are a little more dynamic and fun. What ratio does having a good thumbnail have to higher view count? I mean, I only have 4,000 views on my highest video, so it's not like I'm pulling in from the algorithm massive amounts of views. There's some books that if I'd been able to get to right away and get out a review, I probably could have gotten more views, but as this is just about me and having fun engaging with you and getting these books out of my head. Now, some positives from this last year. It's been a crazy year. I love the interactions I've had with you. The very first video that I made, which was the intro to BookTube, the standard tag to that, I actually was very honored to have Murphy Napier. She's a pretty well-known booktuber here on BookTube, and more in the fantasy sci-fi genre with a few other things. And I was very happy for, in the very first video, to have her connect with some stuff in that video, and I was able to chat with her a little bit, and that was really cool to do. So Murphy, if you happen to see this, thank you so much. That meant a whole lot to me. And all other sorts of commenters who have been able to regularly tune into different videos and comment on their thoughts on something they've appreciated, something they like, areas that they disagree. We disagree respectfully. And I've had a lot of fun in meeting several people from all over the world and just connecting with. That's been really amazing to do. And I've had way more positive than negative feedback, which has been really, really cool. And one thing I'm really starting to do is I'm realizing that with a BookTube channel that you read more thoughtfully, which is something that I always thought I put thought into reading, which I did and I do, but when I have a opportunity to go through and dissect and talk about a book, even if it's in a spoiler-free way, there has to be an element of thought and of purpose behind it. And that's something I'm really enjoying as I'm getting into this, and I plan on keeping on doing this, even if I only get a few hundred subscribers a year. Obviously, I would love to get more subscribers, but this is something I'm doing part-time, very part-time, and so it is what it is, which I have to be very happy about. And this is I want obviously to have things be the best, and just because this maybe is not in the end result, I have to still be happy with that. Now, a few things that I have figured out not negatively, but a few challenges about BookTube. One of them is the comparison game. As much as I am confident in myself, when you upload a video and you get, 20, 30 views in a day or a couple days, and you see somebody else put up a video who they joined 2 months ago, and they have 5 videos, and their videos are getting 5, 6, 10,000 views, and they already have 2,000 subscribers, that comparison game can be really challenging and rough. But what I'm finding is that I have to learn to have joy for others. Other people's success does not detract from my level of success. I know I'm a different person. I talk how I do. I engage with people how I do. I personally don't like to follow trends as much. And that's something that probably hurts me in the subscriber count and the view count. But you know what? I have to be true to who I am and what I want to talk about and do. And I don't have the availability to be as dynamic with things, but I do the best that I can. And ultimately, it's about the stories, it's about the books, it's about connecting with people through a camera at the moment. But when you connect with people through a video, you can have a lot of really powerful moments. And for me, one of the most powerful things this year, I made a video just recently about grief and how my favorite fantasy series and a metal band from India helped me overcome that grief. And that was really cool. I think it only has like 30 views on that video, but that was really fun to do and very uplifting and freeing to be able to kind of tell that story a little bit, which was cool. I don't expect to get a ton of more views, but it was really cool to do. Also, that comparison game, there are some people on here that there's other videos that highlight the unrealistic nature that some people present. I know for me, reading 54 books in a year, that's a decent amount of books. I guess audiobooks I still consider reading, listening, whatever. Don't come at me. I'll have a video in the future talking about that. But there's some people that say like, oh, I read 250 books this year. I read 150 books this year. I did that. And it's just, I don't want BookTube to become something that takes away joy, or where you have to fake and stat pad. If you watch sports, you know that there are people who stat pad all the time to make themselves seem more. I really honestly wonder how much people have actually read, or if they have read a book and then read a Wikipedia summary or a Cliff Notes just to be able to give a little bit of context, and then they spend a total an hour on a book, and then they make a video and they get a ton of views and a ton of money. Maybe not a ton of money, but it is what it is. The other thing is that on BookTube and BookTok and BookGram and all that, you see a lot of trends that take place. And my wife laughs at me because she's like, hey, if you want to raise subscribers and all that, then you should follow some of these trends. And I dig in my heels. She laughs at me so much about it. I dig in my heels so much about following trends. Like a top 10, there's some people I look back and it seems like they've made in the last 2 years, my top 10 fantasy videos up to this point, or my top 10 fantasy books, my top 10 fantasy series, my top 10 sci-fi, my top 10 this. And it just becomes a trope at that point for me. And I will periodically do some of those, but I try to give it my own spin, like my favorite book covers or books that I've DNF'd or my favorite sequel books. And so trying to give it my own flair and spin, and maybe it doesn't get a lot of views, but it's true to myself, and that's all that I can really be. Now, where am I going in this year? I plan on incorporating shorts a little bit more in terms of my book reviews, maybe being on the shorts and then having more series reviews on the main channel. I plan on doing some more rankings and ratings. I have a variety of ideas. I want to get into some more historical books and historical fiction, just a wide variety, even branching out into some more with film and video games and just stories, focusing on stories, because that's something that we all have our favorites and we all relate to. And I do also plan on, at the end of each month, kind of having a monthly wrap-up show where I talk about my books for the month, and I have some really fun activities I'm looking forward to do, and that can just fuel into shorts and things like that. And my goal is by next year to be at 1,000 subscribers. I would love to be at about 1,000 subs and get my view count up a little bit, but I think that's realistic, and keeping doing this one video a week to every 2 weeks. And so that's just some thoughts and reflections from this year. I know you have all the videos that you can watch, and you see my bald mug on a thumbnail somewhere, and maybe it's something that people click on. Maybe it's something people are like, I've seen enough book content. Let me stick to the people that I know. So it's been a real pleasure the last year. I know we're in January now, but the last year has been amazing to be able to engage and talk. And I'm sure my wife appreciates me not trying to talk about books with her as much, even though she is getting into a few books that might be kind of fun to talk about at some point. But I hope you have an amazing year, fantastic year. Check out some of the content that I have if you are interested in knowing more about me. Take care. God bless. We'll talk to you later. Go read some stories.